Andy Jameson has our prelude. And our service is now beginning. Good morning. I'm Steve Ogden. I'm glad to welcome you here today, and a special welcome to our friends on Zoom and on YouTube. We are part of a free religious tradition that honors the loving heart, the open mind, and growing together within beloved community. As we begin our sacred time together, please remember to keep your cell phones muted. Do not record any part of the service. BFUU records it, and the sermons are posted on website, and they're available on YouTube. Let us get off on the right foot and sing with the choir, "We Wish You a Merry Christmas."
It's in the song sheet in your order of service.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, bring us some figgy pudding. Oh, bring us some figgy pudding. Oh, bring us some figgy pudding and bring it right here. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring it right here. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Our fellowship stands on land that is today called Berkeley, California. We envision a Bay Area in which the Ohlone language and ceremony are active, thriving part of the cultural landscape, where the Ohlone place, names, and history is known and recognized, and where intertribal indigenous communities have affordable housing, social services, cultural centers, and land to live, work, and pray on. Through the practices of rematriation, cultural revitalization, and land restoration, the Segura Te calls on Native and non-Native peoples to heal and transform the legacies of colonization, genocide, and patriarchy, and do the work our ancestors and future generations are calling us to do. Our guest minister this morning is the Rev.Ben Meyers, who is no stranger to this congregation. Rev.Ben lives near Lake Merritt in Oakland. His ministry spans nearly 30 years, and he has served as a parish minister, including here at BFUU from 2009 to 13, a hospice chaplain, and a social justice community minister throughout Northern California. He is the father of 2 children and loves spending as much time as possible with his now 3-year-old grandson, soon to be 4, and is a proud parent of a transgender child. He is also a vocal ally and avid advocate for LGBTQ+ rights. We welcome Rev.Ben to our pulpit, again, as he offers words of invocation for our sacred hour together.
Good morning, happy holidays.
Okay, you too.
Okay. These are words from Greta Crosby, simply entitled Winter. Let us not wish away the winter. It is a season unto itself, not simply the way to spring. When trees rest, growing no leaves, gathering no light, they let in sky and trace themselves delicately against dawns and sunsets. The clarity and brilliance of the winter sky delight. The loom of fog softens edges, lulls the eyes and ears of the quiet, awakens by risk the unquiet within. A low, dark sky can snow, or as we know, rain, emblem of individuality, liberality, and aggregate power. This invites contemplation and sport. Winter is a table set with ice and starlight. Winter dark tends to warm light, fire, candlelight. Winter cold to hugs and huddles. Winter want to gifts and sharing. Winter danger to visions, plans, and common endeavoring. And the zest of narrow escapes. Winter tedium to merrymaking. Let us, therefore, praise winter, rich in beauty, challenge, and pregnant anticipations. Come, let us worship together.
Thank you, Rev.Ben. With the arrival of winter's low, dark sky, communities around the world look to the miracle of light as a sign and source of hope. In this service this morning, we celebrate the promise of new life through story and song, by celebrating the holidays of winter. In this way, we recommit ourselves to the radiant light in everyone by rekindling the lights of the season. We begin by lighting the chalice of our faith, this symbol of Unitarian Universalist tradition. Please light your candles or chalice at home now, while Rev.Ben lights this communal chalice for all of us, a symbol of our spirit that lives within each one of us. Please read our unison chalice lighting and candle lighting with me. It can be found in the order of service. Let love be the spirit of this congregation and service its goal. This is our living covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truths of life, and to help one another. And now we light our red candle. We light our red candle to mourn Black lives taken by police and state violence, to proclaim that Black lives matter, and to express our commitment to Black liberation, reparations, and the end of slave capitalism. Now please join the choir in singing number 362 in the gray hymnal, Rise Up, O Flame.
And we'll sing this twice. Thank you. So this service this morning is busy. It's like a 4-ring circus, maybe 5. We haven't counted them all yet. We're not there yet. So follow along in the order of service. There will be opportunity sometimes for readings, perhaps always for singing, and we'll prompt you at those times. But if you look ahead and get the next song ready, you'll be ahead of the game, so to speak. So the next song we sing is actually in the insert. It will be, What Time Is This? Let us begin. Again did the earth shift, and the people of the earth were glad and celebrated each in their own ways. Since ancient times, people in the northern hemisphere have held celebrations making this season of the darkest days and longest nights. December 21st is the winter solstice, was the winter solstice. I suppose it is. It will be again next year. The day with the fewest hours of sunlight. For early peoples, this time was a bit frightening. They didn't have a scientific understanding of the seasons that we have today, and ancient rites and rituals celebrated the victory of light over darkness. Later, light came to symbolize the triumph of good over evil, and even the presence of the divine. And even after they knew the sun would yet again return, people continued to draw a deeper meaning to mark the feelings that they felt at this darkest time of the year. Gift-giving, merrymaking were all part of these happy celebrations. And with the changing of the season from autumn to winter and the loss of light yielding to the darkness of the year, we can always remember this, that with all our fears and failings, human beings have yet somehow managed to put the brightest of our festivals in the darkest part of the year. We celebrate our hope and joy most universally, not at midsummer, but at midwinter. There is wisdom in this. The heartiness and healthiness of these midwinter festivals have continued through many thousands of years, and all of them give us true cause for confidence and reassurance, just when we need it most. When it is darkest, we celebrate the light. When the earth is most desolate, we sing our joy. When the harshest and bleakest of the seasons is upon us, we can turn to gentleness, kindness, friends and family, community. Our courage can rise higher than the circumstances of our realities. So we're going to sing this song for this season, winter, number 73. We're going to sing the second verse, which is winter. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel. Winter is upon us. Let us rise and join with the choir and follow Andy.
Glistens, autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Leaping is the fire, golden in the glass, the cider glows like amber. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us.
As we light the Yule candle, symbol of the winter solstice and the return of longer days and shorter nights, we will now hear the song written by Artist Lou, the words to a familiar tune. Again did the earth shift, and the people of the earth were glad and celebrated each in their own ways. We now shift to Hanukkah, the festival of lights, and we'll sing together the first verse of Light One Candle, number 221. And Andy will give us a short intro.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when the right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears.
I couldn't help but notice the irony in that song. But we continue with this Festival of Lights, with this celebration of light, with the retelling of the tale of Hanukkah. And Hanukkah is a minor holiday in Israel amongst most Jewish people, but here in the U.S., with the avalanche of Christmas, it is celebrated widely. Hanukkah is a Jewish holiday celebrated for 8 days and 8 nights. It starts on the 25th of the Jewish month of Kislev, which coincides with the 25th day of December this year. In Hebrew, the word Hanukkah means dedication. The name reminds us that this holiday commemorates the rededication of the Holy Temple in Jerusalem following the Jewish victory over the Syrian Greeks in 165 BCE. In 168 BCE, the Jewish temple was seized by Syrian Greek soldiers and dedicated to the worship of the god Zeus. This upset the Jewish people, but many were afraid to fight back for fear of reprisals. Then in 167, the Syrian Greek emperor Antiochus made the observance of Judaism an offense punishable by death. He also ordered all Jews to worship Greek gods. Jewish resistance began in the village of Modin, near Jerusalem. Greek soldiers forcibly gathered Jewish villagers and told them to bow down to an idol, then eat the flesh of a pig, both practices that are forbidden to Jews. A Greek officer ordered Mattathias, a high priest, to bow to their demands, but Mattathias refused and led an open rebellion against the mighty Greek army with only a small band of followers. Eventually they succeeded, and these rebels became known as the Maccabees. Once the Maccabees had regained control, they returned to the temple in Jerusalem. By this time it had been spiritually defiled by being used for the worship of foreign gods, and also by practices such as sacrificing swine. Jewish troops were determined to purify the temple by burning the ritual oil in the temple's menorah for 8 days. But to their dismay, they discovered that there was only worth of oil left in the temple. They lit the menorah anyway, and to their surprise, the small amount of oil lasted the full 8 days. This is the miracle of Hanukkah, that somehow miraculously what was not sufficient somehow became enough. Of course, being a Unitarian Universalist, I like to interpret this miracle not by assigning it as an act of supernatural occurrence, but by lifting up the reality of what probably really happened. And the miraculous fact, I believe that to be. Now, I don't know if it really happened this way, but I do believe it's true that on that day the temple was to be rededicated and only 1 day's worth of oil available. The word went out, and simple, ordinary people responded. Think about it. After years of occupation and persecution, it was probably the case that no one felt they had enough oil to keep their candles and lamps burning. And yet, there was a need in the community to purify and rededicate itself and to reclaim the sacredness of their temple after years of desecration. And so, much like you and I come to places like this and rededicate ourselves each week to our highest aspirations and hopes, especially at this time of year when the need is greatest. The miracle for me is that amid loss and devastation of spirit and supplies, the people joined together, maybe on the hush and secretly, so no one really knew, but lo and behold, enough was given to keep the menorah burning, to consecrate the temple, and to give the people hope by what they could do together. That is the message of the miracle of Hanukkah for me, and I invite you to join me in that same spirit as we honor the light of the Hanukkah, and Margaret and Melissa sing Nur Li, Nur Li. Again did the earth shift, and the people of the earth were glad and celebrated each in their own ways. Within Unitarian Universalism is this idea of the transient and the permanent in spiritual growth, knowing that things always change. Our ancestors were constantly reforming and refining what it meant to be a religious community. Originally within Christianity, the Unitarian Theodore Parker said that if the person and the lessons of Jesus and the lessons he taught never actually occurred, it would be important for us to invent them ourselves. It was a way of making religion, the religion of Jesus, what he did and said, to be the focus of an ethical life rather than the things about him that came later. Parker and others were interested in the permanent or transcendental part of living an ethical life. Similarly, we have the work of Dr. Maulana Karinga, who created Kwanzaa here in the Bay Area. Kwanzaa is a unique African-American celebration with focus on the traditional African values of family, community, responsibility, commerce, and self-improvement. Kwanzaa is neither political nor religious, and despite some misconceptions, is not a substitute for Christmas or any other holiday. It is simply a time of reaffirming African American people, their ancestors, times, and culture. Kwanzaa, which means first fruits of the harvest in the African language Kiswahili, has gained tremendous acceptance, especially here in the Bay Area. Since its founding in 1966, Kwanzaa has come to be observed by more than over 20 million people worldwide, as reported by the New York Times. When establishing Kwanzaa in 1966, Dr. Karinga included an additional A to the end of the spelling to reflect the difference between the African American celebration, Kwanzaa, and the mother spelling Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is based on Nguza Saba, and pardon my pronunciation, but 7 guiding principles, one for each day of the observance, and it's celebrated from December 26th through January 1st. And as we light the candles of the Kinara, I will recite the 7 principles, and then we will sing a song. The first is Emoja, unity. It stresses the importance of togetherness for the family and the community, which is reflected in the African saying, I am we, or I am because we are. Kujichagulia, let me try that again. Kujichagulia, self-determination, requires that we define common interests and make decisions that are in the best interests of all. Ujima, collective work and responsibility, reminds us of our obligation to the past, the present, and future, and that we have a role to play in the community, in society, and the world. Ujama, cooperative economics. This emphasizes our collective economic strength and encourages us to meet common needs through mutual support. Nia, purpose. A purpose encourages us to look within ourselves and to set personal goals that are beneficial to the community. Kuumba, creativity. This makes use of our creative energies to build and maintain a strong and vibrant community. And Imani, faith, focusing on honoring the best of our traditions, drawing upon the best within ourselves. This helps us strive for a higher level of life for humankind by affirming our self-worth and confidence in our ability to succeed and triumph in righteous struggle, which will always be with us. So now, in that spirit, in our hymnal is a song, number 147, When All the Peoples of the Earth. And we will hear it played through once by Andy, and then we'll sing the first and third verses. And please rise as you're willing and able. Let's sing all 3 verses. All 3 verses.
When all the people on this earth know deep inside their precious worth, when every single soul is free, we'll earn the name humanity verse 2. The choice to be the best we can begins the day we say I am. The unity for which we sigh will never come through hate or lie. The lights of Kwanzaa now proclaim that when we share our inner flame and nurture root and branch with pride, we'll harvest peace both far and wide.
Again did the earth shift, and the people of the earth were glad and celebrated each in their own ways. Larry has a very special reading for us.
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung with the chimneys with care, and hoped that St. Nicholas soon would be there. Children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down our brains for a long winter's nap. When out in the dawn there rose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. When out to my wandering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it was Saint Nick. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. And as I drew my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. A bundle of toys he had strung in his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were roses, and his nose like a cherry. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he looked like a bowl full of jelly. And he was a chubby and plump and right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, and turned with a jerk. And laying a finger to the end of his nose, he giving a nod, and up the chimney arose, and sprang to his sleigh, to his team he gave a whistle. And away they all flew like the dawn on a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Amidst all this hubbub, have you ever wondered how Christmas got to be such a big deal, especially here? Well, we can only blame ourselves, at least a little bit, because at one time in this country, it was against the law to celebrate Christmas. It wasn't until the openness of Unitarianism emerged and held sway that things began to change. So Unitarians didn't just inherit Christmas from the Orthodox Christian sects. To a large extent, we invented it or reinvented it. For years, the Orthodox didn't know what to do with Christmas. For Easter was the big religious holiday. In England, Christmas looked more like Saturnalia than anything Christian. The actual caroling tradition was more like trick-or-treating than the way we picture it now, with rowdy mobs of the poor standing outside the houses of the rich and intimidating them into offering food and drink, which worked most of the time. I think we should try that again. The Puritans hated the whole idea so much that the Massachusetts Bay Colony would fine you for celebrating Christmas. But in places like Cambridge, Massachusetts, in 1832, Unitarian ministers like the Reverend Charles Follen, that Unitarian minister and abolitionist who founded the congregation in Lexington, Massachusetts, is claimed to have started the tradition of bringing a pine tree into his home and decorating it with candles and ribbons and trinkets. But of course, people from his native Germany had been doing it forever. But this was the first Christmas on record in the New England. And it was another Unitarian, James Pierpont, who was the music director of his brother's Unitarian church in Savannah, Georgia, who gave us Jingle Bells, the children's anthem of Christmas and winter. And then there was the influence of Charles Dickens, who was so impressed when he met the great Unitarian William Ellery Channing and Ralph Waldo Emerson that he joined the Portland Street, London Unitarian Chapel when he returned home. When he wrote A Christmas Carol, he wasn't really recapturing the lost spirit of Christmas. He was conjuring it out of whole cloth. To Dickens, and because of him and many others, Christmas wasn't about the birth of one Savior anymore. It was about the brotherhood and sisterhood and unity of all people. It was about compassion and friendship and family, universal values, we could say. Sophia Lyons-Foss, a great teacher and reformer of Unitarian Universalism in the last century, wrote that each child, each night a child is born, is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for wondering, a time for worshiping. Come, let us sing an old Christmas hymn, beautifully recast by the Reverend Mark Bellatini, with words that make much more sense of our sensibilities than that older version, as Stephen lights the Advent candles of peace, love, truth, and joy. O come, Emmanuel, which means God among us.
Rejoice,
love, truth, light, hope, which cannot be bought or sold or bartered, but only given. All are the wellsprings, firm and deep, of all winter holiday celebrations. These are the gifts we give without price, the ornaments incapable of imitation, discovered only within oneself, and are therefore truly unique. They are not always easy to come by, but somehow the darkness of the winter season compel us to plumb the depths within ourselves, to rekindle the sparks of love and truth and light and hope and joy, and share them freely. May it be so. Happy holidays.
The ritual of joys and sorrows is a time for each of us to share what is in our hearts this week and ask for community prayers and support. Each week we lay out our Joys and Sorrows book to your left, my right, and you're welcome to write in it. I will read the entries that are here from today. From Zoom, Mike Gardner offers that grandson Jake graduated from UC Davis. Great job, Jake, with hearts from Grandma and Grandpa. Happy holidays, everyone, from Jeff. Let's hope and pray and work to make 2025 a better year, from Joanna. Sending love and light to my sister Juanita and her husband JC, may they be well. So many people have health issues right now, holding sorrow and hopes for them. Yesterday, many the world over celebrated the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year in terms of light. Yesterday, I volunteered at dog adoption. I sang a song to little pups in my arms for 15 minutes. He laid back enough to have his belly petted. And now is the time we say aloud the names of anyone we want to send support and loving energy.
Kristen. Palestinian children.
Andrew and Taylor. Now we move to the silent part of our morning ritual. It is the healing ritual with water and stones. For anything that is in our hearts that we wish to bring to the community but is perhaps too sensitive to speak aloud, we have a symbolic action that people can take. They can walk down the center aisle, choose a stone or stones, and immerse them, or it and them, in water which represents our community. Please find the intention and your heart and come forward. And the water and stones are at the head of the table with the candles, so they really are here even if you can't see them. For all that we have shared and for all that we will share in our ongoing lives together, may we be grateful. I am additionally grateful that the congregation persevered in spite of the fact that the aisle in the middle existed only in my script and not, in fact, in the fellowship hall. Now is the time when we share our responsibility for the home which we are creating together. Our shared plate partner for December is the American Civil Liberties Union, and they have their work cut out for them. The ACLU is a nonprofit organization that protects individual rights and freedoms, promoting social justice through litigation and advocacy. Founded in 1920, the ACLU advocates for First Amendment rights, racial equality, reproductive rights, disability rights, pushing back against government overreach and promoting human dignity nationwide. Please give generously to support BFUU and our shared plate partner, the American Civil Liberties Union. Our offertory music is Ave Maria by Charles Francois Gounod, sung by Barbara Meyers. And now, let us dedicate our offerings to the work of this fellowship, which is creating beloved community within and beyond these walls. We dedicate ourselves and these our offerings. We gratefully acknowledge all who worked together on the service. That includes Jeff and Paul and Christine in the back, beaming our words and song out to the internet, and Andy at the piano, and all of those in the choir, and the others who prepared the service, Rev.Ben for leading us with his words. I'm grateful. Thanks also to those in the Zoom room who are sharing our service today. It is great to see you. Today in the Zoom room is Papa Jean, Ben Birch, Bill Balderston, Jinky and Mike Gardner, and Marge.
Turn around and wave.
Are there any newcomers here today who would like to briefly introduce themselves? If so, we have a microphone that can come around so that you can. It is entirely optional, but you are welcome to briefly introduce yourself. Welcome to all. Please check the order of service and/or email newsletter for announcements. If you're not yet on the mailing list, go to bfuu.org and sign up. Next week will be the Living Room Choir. They will return, so it should be a good service to attend next week. And now it is time to extinguish the chalice. Please read with me the words in the order of service. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of service. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Now for our final circle, please form a circle here in the hall and join us in singing Winter Wonderland. We're switching it up this week, not our normal closing hymn.
And as you're gathering in circle and bringing your words with you so you can sing fully and full throttle, hear these words of benediction from the great poet Meyers. May we be the always hopeful gardeners of the Spirit, who know that without darkness, nothing comes to birth, as without light, nothing flowers. May it be so.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa Kia Solstice Mas. So good.
I need
want my, here, right here. Oh, I just wanted to say we have some, yeah, go for it.
How about your telephone? Oh, sorry. No, absolutely. No worries.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you, sir. That was excellent. I think that was.
There's going to
a
be
Christmas
some
miracle in its own
apple
right. There you go.
cider. Where is it? Oh, there it is. There's hot apple cider. Yay.